Alright fellas, here we're back on Pokemon Masters, and today we're taking a look at the Palentines rerun seasonal spotlight scout here. Obviously a very bad banner, generally, but you may as well look at it, right? For the people who want to go for some of these characters, maybe all very nice characters, outfit-wise, kit-wise, they're something, right? They are indeed something. So obviously they're going to be releasing tomorrow alongside the re-release of the Chef's Heartful Delivery story event, which features Palentine's Alisa and Palentine's Mallow. Best girl, of course. So let's go ahead and just start looking at the characters. Why not? So going from probably the worst to the best, kind of, I guess, because oh, I am still mad about this. Whatever. Palentine Serena here, Palentine Serena and Whimsicott. They are a special tech sync pair here. That's fairy type, of course. Their big thing is that they can debuff speed, AoE, leave the enemies paralyzed, as well as buff ally speed. I'd say that's probably their biggest thing, right? They got Hunter's Instinct and Ramming Speed as the innate multipliers for extra power for their Moonblast, with a decent special attacking stat. Go viral for AoE paralysis. Again, speed debuffing with Cotton Spore. Basically, if you get speed buffs and speed debuffs, they can do some pretty decent damage with Moonblast, I guess. And having innate nuke with paralysis. At 3 out of 5, she also has inertia. So not the worst nuke ever. I would not say it's anything absurd or crazy or anything, but it is definitely not bad. I think she can kind of shine though with paralysis, energy, and overpower if you can get it all activated, which is probably the hardest part, is getting all of these multipliers activated. You want speed buffs, speed debuffs, paralysis, and special attack debuffs. So you got to keep that in mind. But I think she could actually look pretty good with those total multipliers. That's like what? 110, 140% in total multipliers off of a 420 special attack stat, with the 107 base power of Moonblast. Give her the level 150, even better special attack. I don't know, looks actually relatively impressive, I'd say, but she's mostly just kind of a damage dealer, I would say. Her nuke is not really all that absurd. Her utility is not bad with Propulsion 2 on the Trainer move. Her speed buffing ability is not bad either, but I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy. Palentine's Dawn and Alchemy. Nuke is not really existent. The special attack, again, is 430 special attack, nothing too absurd, but definitely not bad. Innate nuke of a maximum of 120% in total multipliers. That's it. No innate nuking ability here. She does have Power Loving, but what are you going to use Power Loving for? Dazzling Gleam? Probably not. Really, her best thing is that she's able to do debuffing utility with Charm for attack debuffs and Fake Tears for special defense debuffs, which is why she was so good back when she released, because very, very few characters could consistently debuff special defense back then. So Dawn being able to debuff it by 2 stages and potentially be AoE with Ripple Effect was really, really good. Lucian kind of invalidated that once he released, though. Sort of. But other than that, I mean, I would say that's all she's got, really. Power Posture, I think she's got another multiplier. No, just Power Posture and Power Loving for Dazzling Gleam DPS is not going to be that great. First Aid 4 for some healing, Toughen Up 3. I guess her defensive stats are actually not too bad. Also, she's able to support an ally with buffing their attack and special attack and applying gradual healing. So I guess she does have some supportive utility as well, which is not bad. Not bad for sure. Give her the Support EX role, and I could actually see her being a relatively decent supporting character. I would say that if you do want to go for this character, though, 1 copy is more than enough. This grid is not great for being a tech character that is just debuffing, for sure. But I wouldn't say she's all too crazy anymore nowadays, because, again, Lucian kind of does what she wants to do already, for the most part. Palentine's Marty, this is where they start actually getting, like, quite good. Because Palentine's Marty is still definitely a quite strong character for sure. When it comes to her nuke, she's got herself obviously all the sync nodes here, right? As well as Metallic Surge and Pecking Order. So she's got pretty much 100% in total multipliers for the Steel Zone being activated, as well as another 100% multiplier of debuffing attack. So she's actually able to do quite a bit of good damage there with the 461, pretty much 500 base attack stat when Mega evolving into Mega Mawile, right? Definitely not too bad. Also, she has all of these passives here, which activate twice, because once you Mega Evolve with her, they'll activate again. Terrify 2, Enfeeble 2, debuffing attack and defense by 2 on entry and on Mega Evolution, and then Team Sharp Entry 1, buffing ally crit on entry and Mega Evolution as well, giving her some good methods of buffing ally stats, especially because most Steel characters also are a physical attacking for the most part. And of course, obviously, the part I just failed to mention, Steel Zone. She was the first character to set Steel Zone. Not the only character now, because we do have Variety Thornton, but I guess the most well-known Steel Zone setter, I guess you could say. So being able to set Steel Zone, definitely really, really nice. And buffing all those Steel characters while being able to do some decent damage herself, by the way, with Power Posture boosted Iron Head, as well as having Aggravation for flinching, Enfeeble 1 on the grid for even more defensive debuffing, and that type of stuff as well. Also, Steel Wish Critical Eye for being self-sufficient in buffing crit. That's not too bad either, I guess. So, there's that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. She's definitely a good Steel-type supportive character, especially if you want to go ahead and give her the 3 out of 5 EX, because she can do a pretty good nuke, some good debuffing utility here, alongside with Growl here as well, and of course just buffing any physical Steel character. Like Rose is a very good one, as an example. Sinisuke Giovanni's Iron Tail, if you want to go for that. The main character in Solgaleo. Obviously, there's other Steel-type examples, but those are the biggest ones. I don't think Tate really benefits so much as from her as he would, like, I don't know, as a support or something, and obviously Variety Thornton, all of them. I don't think she would help him out as much, but still, not a bad combination if you want to run him with, like, Summer Tate. Sure. Palentines B! Yeah, we downgraded. I'm kidding. This character's not bad, I just don't like him. Defensive stats, not too bad here. Could be a little bit better, but definitely not, like, horrible or anything. She's able to buff ally attack and special attack here with her trainer move and increase physical moves next by 1 during a hailstorm, which she's able to set hail with the Cold Front passive skill here. Sadly, it's her only method of bringing hail unless you also opt to sync with her. Sadly, she does not extend hail or anything like that, which is one of the bigger things that I am just not too keen on liking about this sync pair. This sync pair just disappointed me on release. I don't know why. Whatever. She's also got Astonish with Aggravation 1 for some good flinches, Flag Barrier 2 for extra chances to buff attack, and Gauge Refresh 9 for gauge management, Potions for healing, Icicle Spear, it really just exists. Yeah, I don't know why. She's also got Snow Sentinel for buffing her defenses, so if these stats are too low for you, you can buff them, which is pretty good. And of course she has Hail and Hardy, Hail and Hardy, which is able to buff her defense by 30%, which is like well over 350 in both defensive stats after the buff, so that's definitely really, really nice there. And of course, she's obviously Ice-type, meaning that she's able to apply Hail, which is going to help out a decent few Ice-type characters that, of course, really want Hail multipliers. I think Holiday Leon wants Hail multipliers, if I'm not forgetting. Obviously, Irida, she sets Hail, so she's not really too much of an example. I'd have to think about it. Let's see if let's just go take a look at Ice characters, I guess. Candace doesn't really care much about Hail herself. The Steven here, Summer Steven, definitely likes it. Most of the older Ice characters are real big Hail desirers. Candace and Abomasnow definitely don't mind the Hail support, I guess, but they also set Hail themselves and would nuke, preferably, so I also don't think they're the greatest example of wanting to benefit off of the Hail from B, but, you know, they can. I'd say that's about it. And then Nessa, who, again, is also able to set Hail herself. So really, that's the funny part about Palentine's B, is that, like, all of the characters that benefit off of Hail can also pretty much just set it. So, whatever. I don't know. She's not a horrible support, just not a character that, or a support that I really would say is definitely aged gracefully. She can do some things, but really nothing absurd anymore. Palentine's Mallow, definitely a step up in my opinion. Maybe a little bit controversial. Pretty good defensive stats, being over 300 in both, and pretty decent HP as well. Very defensive support here, being able to buff physical defense with her trainer move and apply Gauge Refresh. Dire Hit All Plus for buffing crit. Apple Acid for debuffing enemy special defense, and her passives, which are just very, very healing based. Team Fist Bump 9 for some gradual healing whenever the attack move of Appleton is successful. Generally Apple Acid for the special defense debuffs. Midpoint Mend 5, restoring HP by 50% when health drops to half or below. Very good if you want to run the 50% HP parameter in Stadium or something, so you can get some very fast heals on Mallow. Initial Synchro Healing, restoring HP of all allies by 40% after using the Sync move. Combine that with her physical, pretty good physically defensive prowess, and you can actually make her look pretty good for some characters. Obviously, it's very defensive, though, so do consider this stuff's going to be more useful for, like, a gauntlet or, like, a battle rally or just content where survivability is on the forefront of your mind and not really, like, doing as much damage as possible, I guess you could say, which Stadium is really where you're going to be doing that. So, I guess in that aspect, Mallow probably does lose to B, because B can buff offenses at the very least. But in the grid, Mallow's not too bad. She's able to debuff speed for activating more multipliers, hype up 9 for buffing ally special attack. So yeah, that definitely helps a good bit for her offensive buffing abilities. Plus, of course, Dire Hit All Plus. Staggering 4 on Dragon Pulse. Good ability, yeah, but also consider she's slow as sin. Her only method of gauge is Revenge Boost 9, buffing gauge from her trainer move. And I don't think she has any Catalytic Kick. Okay, so she does have gauge acceleration. But other than that, I mean, she's still really slow, and other allies on your team are going to be having to use gauge, probably. So using a 3-gauge move for only a 50% chance of flinching is a little bit iffy, in my opinion, when you could just go for Apple Acid and get some special defense debuffs and try and kill the enemy quicker, really. But obviously pick it up if you like, I guess. Starter Stuff 2 and, wow, okay, so she only has Starter Stuff 2. I guess it's because of the higher physical defense, but oh well. I guess it's decent. Impervious for immunity to stat debuffs, definitely not bad if you want to pick up the ally stat down ×3, or ally stat down by 3 parameter, whatever you want to call it. So obviously that's definitely good there. Moving Gauge Refresh 9 on Apple Acid just to help with the gauge efficiency is very nice as well. Flabbergast for some confusion. Team Sync Cure 9 removing status conditions, definitely good for, you know, again, Cresselia, Tornadus, these random Moltres, these random arenas that can apply, you know, burn, poison, paralysis, those type of things, and obviously any, you know, stadium stage as well. Trash Tank 4 for extra healing, just because of course she needed it, for sure. So there you go, you got that as well. So Palentine's Mallow, pretty solid defensive support with some decent offensive buffing capabilities with the crit buffing, slow special attack buffing, and obviously special defense debuffing, but the healing is probably the most absurd part. And then finally we have Palentine's Alisa. Oh, let's just get it over with. Okay, so she's a physically offensive support. It's not support, no. She's a physical striker with Togetic here. She's got 420 in both offenses. So why is she physical? I don't know. They opted to. Probably because she has Fly. Fly for it's a 2-turn move, so it does take away quite a bit of actual hitting power. But it is 200 power, so I guess that is something in return. She's got Dire Hit Plus for maxing her own crit, and her trainer move, which applies attack and special attack by 3 to her, and it's obviously 2 use, so you can max out your crit and both of her offenses just by herself if you want to, which is not bad. Going into her passive skill, she's got Super Powered 5 for a 50% multiplier when powering up super effective attacks. Strengthening status, applying physical moves and special moves next when using a status move. Definitely not bad, especially if you want to, you know, go in from Metronome, the best part of her ability, into like Fly or something, may work. And then Super Countdown, reducing sync countdown when the move is super effective. This, combined with Fly against any flying weak stage, is going to be good because it does negate the 2-turn setup, for the most part, of Fly, so you don't have to worry about Fly screwing up your gauge. Do keep in mind that it is only 3 uses, so you're going to have to pick up something like Sync Quickening or Fly NPR on the grid. And then obviously the biggest part of her kit, the meme Metronome, because that's how they designed her. Metronome, it is an ability, obviously, that chooses one of like 19 different moves or something in the game, one for each type, and then Fissure is also in there. So it's pretty much, they're like, you can use Metronome with her, hope that you land a super effective move. It'll get powered up by super powered 5, plus her relatively high offensive stats, as well as the +1 physical or special moves next, and also reduce your sync countdown with Super Countdown 9. And in the grid, they opted to only expand this by giving her Double Down 5 for powering up her super effective nuke, super preparation on her trainer move for hopefully landing a super effective sync nuke, super effective Fly, or a super effective Metronome attack, and then Fortuitous 9, no, not really, this one, whatever. Super Countdown and super duper effective 5 for even further power up of Metronome if you land a super effective attack. If that sounds mid, it is. It's very mid. Basically, you have a pretty much 1 out of 18 point, like, fucking 2% chance or whatever, or percent, 1 out of 18.2 chance or something like that of actually being able to land being able to land a super effective metronome attack. Like if you're fighting a grass weak stage, generally it's probably about a 1 out of 18 chance that you'll actually land like Power Whip or something. Nice, man. Really great design for this unit. When it comes to doing actual flying damage, she's fine. She's nothing like absurd. Obviously, Cygnus Suit Ethan's going to be better. Summer Liza's going to be better, but definitely not bad when it comes to actually doing flying damage, because she does have the double down multiplier plus super powered 5 here. Crit strike 1, I guess. Sure. And of course the 2 sync nodes. She's able to do an okay flying nuke and then fly for 200 base power, plus the sync countdown to not screw your sync countdown up. Not bad for flying power either. You can clear flying weak stages, no problem. But 90% of the stuff that she does is locked behind Metronome being a completely random move. Why did they do this? I have no fucking idea. But they did. But they really did. A little bit of a rant. Why couldn't you just design Metronome, even just for Springburg as well? Why wouldn't you just design it to have Metronome use a random super effective move? Because it still wouldn't be amazing, but it'd be better than this shit. Like use Metronome, and again, let's go back to the Grass Week example. Let's say it would have a chance of using Power Whip, but it could also use fucking Razor Leaf. Or it could use Solar Beam, or Solar Blade, or whatever moves are, Leaf Blade, Leaf Storm, those type of moves. Give it, like, the ability to do a random move, but let it at least be super effective. What is this 1 out of 18 chance to actually do good damage bullshit? For a 2023 sync pair, this is my favorite character in the game, man. I got screwed with this character, man. I'm very happy. I am very happy, as you can tell. Anyway, whatever. I think that's basically it. If you want, again, just another little synopsis, Palentine's Alisa is only good against super effective stages or metronome memes for the most part. Palentine's Mallow is a pretty good defensive / health-based support with some offensive buffing ability with the special defense, crit buffs, and special attack buffing abilities. Palentine's B is also pretty decent at setting hail, not too consistent, but still she can do it. Flinching, buffing attack and special attack by 4 in an instant, applying healing with potion, pretty good defensive ability in hail with the 30% defensive increase for herself. Physical moves next by 1, and that's mostly it, I would say. We also got Palentine's Marty, of course, being a really solid steel nuker, I would say, with the 60% chance to flinch with aggravation, Iron Head, Growl, as well as the Enfeeble and Terrify 2 passives that can also activate on Mega Evolution for debuffing attack and defense relatively effectively. Team Sharp Entry as well for crit support, and Steel Zone, of course, empowering all steel-type allies. Palentine's Dawn being a relatively decent debuffing character with the attack and special defense debuffs, as well as having decent defensive prowess in case you need them to take a hit or 2. And of course being able to buff ally attack and special attack by 2 and applying gradual healing. Not too bad either. And then Palentine's Serena probably just being a solid DPS unit with 107 base power Moonblast off of a 420 base special attack with multipliers like Hunter's Instinct, Ramming Speed, Overpower, and Paralysis Synergy 5 to give her a decent boost in power, but obviously she does still want, the abilities to actually get those stats or these multipliers, fully decked out for that damage to really shine. Definitely all worse than our modern Palentine's units, Candace and Victor. Definitely a very, very good step up from last year, I would say, but, that's generally how you want it to be. Duh. So, as I said at the beginning, I would not recommend summoning on the the 6 times unit feature seasonal Spotlight Scout. It is going to be 30.33% chances of pulling each individual character for a total of 2%. So if you want like Palentine's Dawn specifically, or Palentine's Marty specifically, or Alisa specifically, it's going to be a 0.33% chance for each of those individual characters. Very low, very, very low rates, worse than that of a Master Fair by far. So expect to go to pity or whatever else. So yeah, that's been my overview. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for this Abysmal banner or not down in the comments below. I really wish you luck if you do opt to summon, and I really hope you just opt to skip instead, save for a Select Scout. It is way better use of your gems, realistically, even if it does mean you have to spend money. Like, If you want these characters that bad, I think it would be far better for you to just spend the $4 and get the 20-day gem deal, which can give you 3,000 paid gems, so you can just get one of these characters on a select scout. It's far better for you. But whatever. That's just my opinion, and of course, your money, your financial situation, your happiness, do whatever you want. Of course, as always. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Hope you all enjoyed.